Hello, I'm DelusionDispeller. I have some things to talk to you about today regarding narcissistic personality disorder traits. As I said on my former video, which I haven't yet posted at the time of this one, I'm going to be interviewing none other than Sam Vaknin, who is known as a diagnosed narcissist and also self-proclaimed narcissist as well. Most people that talk to him agree that he definitely has narcissistic traits. So I do consider him somewhat of an expert on the whole issue, being that he has been involved in studying himself longer than I've even known about narcissism. So, on that note, I'd like to go over some traits according to the Diagnostic Statistic Manual number 5. The former one was number 4. And they've changed a lot of things in the diagnostic number 5, which I'm not going to get into all those details. But I do want to talk a little bit about what the Diagnostic Statistical Manual says about narcissistic personality disorder and personality disorders in general. So, without further ado, here we go. We will call it the DSM. The DSM has decided to redefine personality disorders, such as narcissistic personality disorder and other ones. The manual now defines personality disorder as an impairment in personality, self and interpersonal functioning, and the presence of pathological personality traits. So let's put this in layman's terms. What the Diagnostic Statistical Manual is saying is that people have trouble relating to others and the world, and they also have issues with crazy thinking and perceiving, crazy actions, and actions that cause harm to themselves and others, and they may be mentally disturbed or diseased. That's basically the definition of pathological. As for specifically narcissistic personality disorder, according to the DSM-V text of June 2011, it is defined as significant impairment in personality as seen in either identity or self-direction. Both Sam Vaknin and I agree that this should actually be defined as problems with identity and self-direction. Not or self-direction, but problems in both areas. Now I'm going to get into specific traits of narcissistic personality disorder according to the new DSM-V. Of course, I will do my best to put these in layman's terms around a 3rd to 6th grade level so that you can more easily understand what these look like in the disordered individual. Many times, Sam and other manuals will talk in very technical terms about this type of disorder, and not everybody can think on those terms. So I try to make things as simple as I can so that everybody can grasp what's going on here. So I will also share with you my experience with Anita, the narcissist, from my past. I will sometimes reiterate Sam Vaknin's stand on these traits as well in some instances. One moment. Let's talk about identity, according to the DSM-V, in a narcissist, of course. A narcissist looks to others' reactions to him or her in order to determine who he is and what his value as a person is. He either sees himself as wonderful, brilliant, gorgeous, talented, to be adored, admired, bowed down to, or he sees himself as a worm, lowly, worthless, useless, and this constantly changes. He may be really on top of the world, on top of his game for the longest time, and then a few days later or a few moments later, just hate himself, loathe himself, think he's the worst person on the earth and on the planet. This is very commonly seen in borderlines, although they tend to end up more in the depressive end of things most of the time, rather than fluctuating a whole lot. I'm also talking about female narcissists, not just male. So if I say he and I don't necessarily say he and she, please do not take issue with that. It's just quicker to say one gender or the other. So that's why I do that. Next. I'm going to keep these around 6 minutes if I can each, to make sure that you get everything that there is to know on each video. The narcissist will talk about himself or herself as if they have lofty goals, were well admired, and believe that they had a special in the case of Anita, she had belief that she had this special relationship with God's Spirit, or we call him the Holy Spirit. It's more special than anybody else. She had this in, just her and him. He spent special time with her and just really connected with her more than any other human being, apparently, was kind of the alleged insinuation on that. So that was one way that that kind of identity was formed in her, that she was special to God. So stay tuned. I'll talk more on this vein and some others.